Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Taylor, co-owner of Vegan Proteins Online Coaching, and today we are going to be talking about how to go vegan and stay vegan when your family or your housemates are not vegan. Going vegan is a really big decision and it can cause rifts in relationships, particularly when it's all in the same household if you're not careful. Because I think going vegan is such an emotional decision for so many people, stakes are high. Stakes are high. Emotional stakes are high here, and we want to try to find a way to navigate that without ostracizing ourselves or others, and that is what this video is going to try to get into. So let's dive in. So the first thing you should do if you're considering going vegan is really educate yourself, and maybe you've already started to do that and that's why you want to go vegan. But going vegan means cutting out all animal products from your diet and your lifestyle as much as humanly possible. And that's meat, dairy, eggs, wool, leather, products tested on animals, that sort of thing. And while you don't need to know everything about veganism in order to make the first steps, it is a good idea to learn as much as you can while you transition. This will help answer questions that other people will undoubtedly have, and it can help you feel a little bit firmer in your resolve of why you want to be vegan in the first place. So it's also really important to know how to prepare balanced meals that have a lot of high quality nutrition that leave you feeling full and satisfied, because the way that most of us are raised, the filling and satisfying part of the meal is usually animal products. And when we just remove those from the plate, we are often left feeling really hungry and not satisfied at all. So it's important to learn how to do that before you even get started if you want to be successful in this journey. So there are tons of resources out there, from books to websites to social media channels. Definitely dive into some of those in order to determine your first steps. And of course, you can also seek out advice from qualified vegan coaching professionals like our team. Wink, wink. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions at all. But once you have made this decision and you've armed yourself with some knowledge, it's a good time to communicate your decision to your family or your housemates. So don't expect them to change their minds overnight or at all, if I'm being real. But be honest and clear about your reasons for going vegan. So whether it's for animal rights reasons, other ethical reasons, health concerns, environmental reasons, explain why it is so important to you and your values. Try really, really hard, and I know that this is hard. I mean, this is always hard, but it's especially hard in the beginning. Try really hard not to be confrontational and not to be judgmental, and instead focus on the positive aspects of going vegan. So you can also answer any questions that they might have or provide them with resources if they're interested, but I would advise against giving them lots of resources if they are not interested. This can come across as confrontational, like you're trying to start an argument or prove your point. And I know for myself, when I went vegan in 2002, so it's been over 20 years now, and I was so fired up with this newfound knowledge. Like, I felt like I just needed to tell everybody, because if other people knew it, they would make the same decision and the world would just continue to get better and better as more and more people went vegan. So I might as well have had a megaphone. I wanted to scream it at everybody that I knew, and that changed exactly zero people, and it was really disheartening at first. But I eventually just decided to focus on me and my journey and making sure that I was, as happy and healthy as I could be and leading by example. And I can say that now, 20 years later, my entire family is vegan, and these are people that mocked me, that told me that I was gonna die, etc., etc. And I never shoved anything down anybody's throat or said they had to change or judged them, made fun of them at dinner or anything. This was simply by just focusing on me and my journey, and I still think that's a very smart way to go. There were other things I did, I'll get there in a second, but it wasn't deliberately to try and change anybody else, because you can only control yourself, and that's a really important thing to remember. If you communicate this to your family and they might not be very receptive, a lot of people even respond with hostility to finding out somebody is trying to go vegan. So they might feel threatened or challenged by your decision, or they probably won't understand your point of view. They might automatically think that because you're going vegan that you are judging them, which is why I think it's really, really important to be cautious to not do that. If that's the case, it's really important to stay calm and respectful and avoid getting into arguments, because that is only going to make other people double down on giving you a hard time, in my experience. So you can also try to find common ground, things you both agree on, whether that's values like health or animal welfare or environmental issues. That can usually be a good place to start. The next thing to do is to make a plan. So if you're the only vegan in your household, navigating meal times is going to be the most challenging thing for you. So you need to decide how you are going to tackle that. So you can either cook separate meals for yourself, or you can maybe volunteer to make dinner for the family one night a week, where you go out of your way to try to find something that you think everybody is going to like. Try to make vegan-friendly versions of foods that you already know that your family likes. That's a really good place to start. So it could take some experimentation, but eventually you will likely find a routine that does work for you. When I first went vegan, I just made all my food for myself. I mean, I was 16 years old. So it was a little bit easier. I didn't have to make food for everybody else. And I think that can be a really challenging thing for people, especially as they become more ethically invested in why they are vegan. Cooking animal products for other people can eventually become a boundary. And I think that that's fine, but I don't think that it is fair to sort of if you have people depending on you to cook food, I don't think it's fair to just transition to that overnight. I think you have to give people a grace period to at least learn how to, cook certain foods that they want for themselves, if that's the situation you find yourself in. I know that is probably really hard, and I haven't cooked an animal product in probably like 18 years or something. But in the beginning, I cooked for myself, and then there were a few other people that I would cook for occasionally, and I did have to sort of phase that out. And I think that is an okay thing to do. So one way to make veganism more appealing to your family is to cook delicious and satisfying vegan meals. This was the other thing that I did for my family over the last 20 years, was bring delicious vegan food to events and share it with them. And a lot of time people think that vegan food is going to be really either gross or just unsatisfying, unfulfilling. It's going to just be a bunch of like kale and nothing else. But I would go out of my way to try to make delicious vegan baked goods, pizza, nachos, finger food. Like I would try to make foods that I knew other people were going to like that happened to be vegan. So people would, these were not health foods per se, healthier than the alternatives for sure. But, they would eat it and be like, whoa, that was vegan? Wow, that was actually really, really good. And for a lot of people, that's what you want their vegan experience to be, not drinking a spirulina shake and being like, ew, see, I knew vegan stuff was gross. I'll never do that. So I think that just bringing delicious food into other people's lives can be a great form of vegan advocacy and can help kind of soften the edges of what other people might think about vegan food. Most of us were raised to think that vegan diets are weird, gross, unhealthy, so you can't blame other people for having that mindset when that's what they've been told their whole lives. So some really easy vegan staples that I would highly encourage you to learn how to cook would be tofu, tempeh, beans, quinoa, rice, vegetables, oatmeal. Really simple things that you can whip up quickly for yourself at any time. If you're not confident in your cooking skills, learn how to cook. I feel like everybody on earth should learn how to cook for themselves, but there are a ton of resources out there to help you, from cookbooks, blogs, YouTube channels, just loaded with simple, tasty recipes. Learn cooking techniques. I didn't know how to cook before I went vegan. Veganism forced me to learn how to cook, and now I'm not to brag, but I'm one of the better cooks that I know. And it's all because I started learning how to cook for myself over 20 years ago. And a lot of the cooking techniques that you use on non-vegan food, you can use the same techniques on vegan food. It's about the technique more so than the main ingredient most of the time. I would also recommend that you join some communities. So it is very easy to feel isolated and lonely when you're the only vegan that you know. When I went vegan, I was the only vegan that I knew. I did not know a single solitary other person who was vegan. I had never met a vegan before in my entire life. So I felt like I was the only person on earth. And when I found vegan communities online, now granted this was 2002, the internet was not what it is now, I felt like I had hit the jackpot. Like I found the only other vegans interested in fitness in the entire world. And I was so happy. And finally I felt like I had people that I could talk to about things on my mind or struggles I was having. And now, because there are so many more vegans than there were then, it's so much easier to find a community that really, really fits you, because there are so many of them. So I'd highly recommend that you do that. Lastly, I would say be patient and persistent in your own pursuit of veganism for yourself. So changing your eating habits at all, it's not easy. It takes time to build new routines and habits. Your family might not fully understand you or support your decision at first, but don't quit just because your family doesn't get it. Keep reminding yourself of your reasons why you've decided to go vegan, and that will help you stay motivated. Continue to explore new foods and recipes, connect with other people in the communities. All of these things can help keep you on track when it feels like some of the people closest to you in your real life might be trying to knock you off track. They will come around eventually. They might not come around and change, but chances are very good they will come around and at least accept you for who you are and even respect your decision, even if that's not a decision that they would choose to make for themselves. So remember that going vegan is a personal decision, and you don't have to convince anybody else to do the same thing. Just focus on your own journey, celebrate your own progress, no matter how small. And if your family does show an interest in veganism, be there to support them. Share your experience and knowledge, lead by example, help make that journey fun for them. Be the vegan that you wish that you knew when you went vegan. I really hope that this was helpful to those of you that are considering going vegan or are already vegan but kind of navigating a challenging household. Let me know if you've experienced this or what your experience was when you went vegan in the comments below. If there's any questions or videos that you'd like to see, let me know. We love to take requests. Feel free to reach out to us at veganproteins.com. If you need some help with your own vegan journey, that is what we do. That is what we have been doing full-time since 2008. So reach out to us. We would love to help you. We have lots of different coaching for different levels of help that people need. We're there for you. Anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to hit like, subscribe, the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.